Welcome to our channel Concept Builders by Neeraj Putadra. Do subscribe to our channel for latest videos. Hello everyone. Today we will try to understand concept of put call parity. Basically, put call parity is used so that there is no possibility of arbitration when you are dealing with options. So यहाँ पे we will discuss everything in relation to put call parity with European options, because European options are only options which can be exercised on a specific date. American option or Bermudan options on that put call parity doesn't apply. So for application of put call parity, there are certain assumptions which have to take place and then only it can work. So few of the assumptions are that the relationship will only exist if the underlying assets for both call and put are same, time to expiry for both call and put are same, and there is the same strike price for both call and put. That is, if you are taking Reliance share as a derivative instrument, then the call option has to be taken also for Reliance share, and put option has also to be taken for Reliance share. Time to expiry for both has to be same. That is, if you are taking for 1 year, then for both call and put also it has to be for 1 year. And your strike price also for the both the call and put option has to be same. That is, say for example, if the strike price is rupees 110, then for call option and put option, the strike price has to be same. So basically, if these three conditions are met, just a second, sorry, if these three condition are met, then the parity theory says that the put premium that we pay, that is P0, plus the market price of the share shall be equal to call premium that we are going to pay plus present value of exercise price. Okay. So if this equation stands good, if this equation is holding good, in that particular scenario, there shall be no possibility of arbitration. If by any chance this equation is not holding good, ki matlab if this equation is not ending up to be same, then there is a possibility of arbitration and you can make money out of that. So how this particular theory is derived, on what basis is this implemented, we will study in next slides. So basically, for understanding this particular theory, we need to create two portfolios. One portfolio shall be a protective put portfolio and another will be a fiduciary call portfolio. This model is used for Black-Scholes valuation also. So here what value of P0 and C0 we are calculating, that is derived from Black-Scholes formula. For Black-Scholes, we have already created a separate video. You can look into that. I am assuming that you all understand what is call option and put option. For that also we have created a separate video. You can have a look into that. I will put link of both option valuation and Black-Scholes valuation in the comment section. So now let's come to this particular parity explanation. Say for example, we have two investors, investor A and investor B. So investor A is going to use the protective put strategy and investor B is going to use fiduciary call strategy. So I will just mention there, he is going to use a protective put strategy and this guy is going to use a call strategy. So there is an investor A. He is a person who thinks that there is a share whose right now price is rupees 100. Okay, he thinks that price of this particular share is going to increase after 1 year and he feels that I should buy this particular share today. So what he does, he goes and purchases this share. He purchases this particular share. After that, what he does is he fears that it can happen that this particular share price might decrease. So to protect himself, he goes and buys a put option also. So what will he have to pay for buying a put option? He will have to pay a premium. So let's assume that premium is P. So in that case, what will be his total outflow? His total outflow will be rupees 100 plus P. Okay. So let's understand what happens for investor B. Investor B says that whatever output Mr. A is going to get at the end of 1 year, I also want to get the same output. Okay. And for that, I will use a call strategy. I will not use a put strategy. I will use a call strategy. So for that, first let's understand what is going to be the probable outputs of Mr. A in two different scenarios. Say for example, if market price of the share comes to rupees 150. Okay, in that case, what is Mr. A going to do? After 1 year, when the market price of share is rupees 150, he will go in the open market and he will sell the shares in the open market and he will earn rupees 150. He shall not be exercising the put option because market price is greater than the exercise price. So if market price is greater than the exercise price, you are not going to exercise your put option. So what will be my total inflow at the end of 1 year? My at the end of 1 year, my inflow will be rupees 150 in first category. In the second condition, if the market price falls to rupees 70, if the market price falls to rupees 70, what I will do? I will be exercising my put option because now what is happening? I have right to sell my shares in the open market at rupees 110. My exercise price is 110. So what will happen? Now, as we all know, the stock exchange just does the net transaction. So what will be my net transaction here? My exercise price is 110 and my market price on the date of on the date is 70 rupees. So my net gain is going to be rupees 40. And whatever shares I had in my hand, which I had purchased here for rupees 100, I will sell those shares in open market for rupees 70. In that case, what is my going to be my total inflow? My total inflow is going to be rupees 110. Now Mr. B says that I will create exactly a similar strategy which will give me a final output of 150 and 110 only in these two scenarios. So what Mr. B does is Mr. B buys a call option. Okay, call gives him right to purchase. He buys a call option at a premium P and he says now I have right to purchase. So after 1 year I will need X amount of money to purchase this particular share. So what he does is he matlab maximum to maximum what he is going to shed out is what is my exercise price. He knows that maximum if he has to pay something, it's the exercise price which he will have to pay in the future. So what he does, he invests rupees 100 so that he can earn 110 rupees at the end of 1 year. That is, if my future value is 110, so what will be my present value that I should invest? My present value will be future value divided by 1 plus 10%, assuming 10% is the risk-free rate of return. So he invests in a risk-free bond of 100 rupees so that after end of 1 year, he will get 110 rupees. So what is outflow for Mr. B? Mr. B ka outflow is also 100 plus P. So now let's understand the mathematics for Mr. B if the market price is rupees 100 and market price is rupees 70. So if market price is rupees 150, what will happen? He can buy shares at rupees 150 in open market, but he has a right to purchase because he has bought a call option. So what he will do, he will execute his right to purchase. So he will also do a net settlement of 110 minus 150 minus 110, that is 40 rupees. And what will happen at the end of 1 year, his bond which he had invested here, this particular bond, this bond will mature and it will give him how much rupees? 110 rupees. That is 100 rupees for principal plus 10% of interest for 1 year. That is 110 rupees he will get. So total inflow that he will get is rupees 150. You can see in this option and this option, Both Mr. A and B are receiving the same money. Now let's take when the market price falls down to rupees 70. If the market price falls down to rupees 70, Mr. B does not need to do anything because he knows that he can earn exactly 110 by the liquidation of his bond. So he gets 110 rupees here. And if you see here also he was earning 100. Mr. A was earning 110 in market price 70, and Mr. B is also earning 110 at market price of 70. So by this, can we say that if in two different type of investment strategy, if I want to earn a similar output, if I want to earn a similar amount of money in two different strategy, then my input also needs to be same. So in that case, what are my input in two different strategies? In my first investment A ka category mein, what is my input? My input is purchase price of share, that is market price of share, plus premium that I am paying for buying the put option. This should be equal to, in the second case, what I am paying? I am paying call premium plus I am paying present value of my exercise price. And this is what we studied and we understood by this particular formula, which we read here also, and this exactly the same formula. For call and put parity, this particular formula needs to hold good, then only there will be call and put parity. So this is a perfect example of call and put parity, because here that person is paying 100 plus P and here also 100 and P, 100 plus P, and in both the scenario he is going to earn 150 rupees in each category of this, and rupees 110 in the category of 70 rupees wala market price. Now let's see what happens if call and put parity does not exist. If the call and put parity does not exist, then what will happen? So in the same example what we understood in the previous case, let's assume the premium that he needs to pay for buying a put option is rupees 3 and the premium for buying a call option is rupees 5. Now let's understand what will be his outflow. His outflow in first investment A outflow will be 103 and investor B outflow will be 105. So to earn 150 rupees, one investor is investing 103 rupees and another investor to earn 150, he is investing 105. So this is a clear case where arbitration can exist. I can buy 103 ka investment and I can sell it to the investor B for 105 and I can make a profit of rupees 2. That is 105 minus 103. I can make a profit of rupees 2. How this works out is, so if I calculate the theoretical value of the put, so what is the formula what we learned? We learned that P0 plus market price of share should be equal to C0 plus present value of exercise price. So in this, if I equate the formula, so if I have the three component of this particular formula, can I find the fourth component? Answer is yes. So how can I do this? So my P0 theoretical price for me is equals to, my C0 is 5 plus market price of the market price is 100. Sorry, just a second. My C0 is 5 plus present value of my exercise price is 100 minus this particular things come here, so it will become minus. So market price of the share is rupees 100. So I can say my P0 here should be 5 rupees. My theoretical put option ka premium should be 5 rupees. So now what is happening? My theoretical price is 5 and my actual market price is 3. So can I conclude by saying if my actual market price is less than theoretical market price, then my put option is undervalued and I should buy a put option? On contrary, if my P0 plus MPS should be equal to C0 plus present value of K. If I solve this equation here, my P0 here is 3 rupees my MPS is 100 minus PV of K, that is 100, is equals to 3. That is my call option ka theoretical price is rupees 3, and my actual market price on which it is trading here, it is rupees 5. So in this equation, can I say that my actual market price is greater than my theoretical market price? That is, my call option is overvalued, and hence I should sell my call option. So if I do a strategy where I am buying a put option and I'm selling a call option both parallelly, then I can do a arbitration and I can earn a profit of rupees 2. But ultimate goal of derivatives is not to arbitrage, and that's why for any derivative option here, the call put parity should be met, and if call put parity is met, then there will be no arbitration. Hopefully you guys have understood call put parity, uh, and it will help you out to resolve lot of MCQs of RB examination. If you have liked the videos, please do like, share and subscribe to our videos. The next videos, what lot of people have advised is bull spread and bear spread. I will try and make a video on that very soon. Thank you.